Welcome new viewers to Kathy. All picking up through energy line centers, eye circle location interference, all position locations. High positional locations of high portal location line centers of 3, 6, and 9. The time is now in position locations. We're all allocated position to its location. So I sent up some structured diagrams and positions before you guys go through your heart. You understand the time lock interference. Remember how you go through your point center, connections to all levels of point line rotation? Well, we're going into time lock interference of time location. You have to learn how to use your channels in all levels of dispositions. Gateway interference, time travel recognition, time location, everything through your perception is allocated to all levels of you through activation system. So welcome, Kathy. Very powerful the connections where you can connect with Lieutenant Jill. She's on TikTok. She has formations and how you can travel through all levels of the basic understanding of 3, 6, and 9, guys and ladies. Truly understand how powerful it is. Once you wake up to that ascension interference, it opens up your heart to positions of your Merkaba, your Tesseract, and your tetrahedrons, how to travel to all position locations, right? 3 generation lights of the sun, 6 position programs of the moon, and 9 is location of view. That's a central line position of view to all level positions of dimensional time centers. In line connections of locking interference, time position to its locations. Now coming into all level systems, 1 plus 1 equals 3. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6 in position locations. 9 in center line centers, 6 and 9 locations of yin and yang. Circle line center, vector line in position locations, 1 trap interference, 1 location, 1 diamond core position, 1 clocking center of 1 position to time interference. Now, it's complicated stuff, isn't it? But it's fantastic when you guys are all going to travel through your heart. The computer operation tubes position of all line system. You're going to go into the universal line of 1 triangle line interference of 1 trillion locations of 69 position line centers in rotations of yin and yang. That's going to understand your central position locations to your time frames, sending in your clocking interference to your flux capacitor channel to positions of all allocated timeline center. I don't expect the new viewers to understand these things, but please go to Lieutenant Jill. She has her TikTok. It's very informative how to travel through 3, 6, and 9. It's better that you get a true understanding before you go on my live, which is extremely complicated on the universal line center. What I now have been upgraded to all particle line center to molecular light and 12 strands of DNA to all universe, of all space, of all time, of all clocking, of all activation, of all phenomena, of all intelligence, of all position locations, of all planets in high line center. So in calculation, this is what it's all about. Understanding what is 3, 6, and 9 of travel. It's teleportation of you, telecommunications of you, telewaving systems of you, teleportations of you, right? Your triangle line center and position location has to truly understand all shape positions, right? Because it has so many levels of 12 divisions of locking interference, time lock interference, lock location connections, lock and loaded position locations, high positions of codes, vector line connections interference and position program setting into the heart reactor, to the heart resonance, to its heart pattern, to its fluctuation interference location of the atmosphere channels locations of F1, F3, F6, F9, and F12 in position locations, high positions, all levels of you through track interference. So this is true understanding the acceptance that you guys have to understand when you travel through 3, 6, and 9. Okay, it's the most powerful portal, which is 1, 1, 1, 1. This opens up all cycle interference position, the cycle line center connections, all positions, the cycle line interference locations, and the psychology location to its inner child, putting everybody in the heart central. Time frequency to a position to its codes is its portal defense. Security line center is coming to new track interference position locations, putting everybody into their computer system. Hologram structure to its hologram line center is in its clocking interference locations. All right, 5 minutes and we'll get ready. All right, questions or comments, you can go through my link below. We'll be on TikTok afterwards if you want to be upgraded or upline center positions. Try to understand all levels of you through 3, 6, and 9. That's it. It gets easier and easier and easier, but you have to travel through my space and time to understand you through the oxygen levels of your avatar. Okay, these frequency codes and interference won't understand your time code position locations. You have to get in your grounds, your powers, and your adversary timelines, into your flux capacitance line channels, into Orion's belt. Gateway interference position is its own clocking center to the past, present, and future, into one signal, to one rotation, to one atom location of the heart center position. Okay. All right. So talk among each other. It's a very powerful video in the set of the code-line centers. So flight navigations of 1, 3, 6, 9, and 12 is going to put you in allocated timeline centers into your own heart central. You have to truly understand the resonant pattern of why you're here in position locations. What's the purpose? What do I have to do next? Okay. How do I get out of this situation? How do I get out of that situation? How do I get this manifestation? How do I do this through equation? Right? It's all given to you through the heart system. You have to surrender on all levels of timelines of clocking locations, right? Merging your dimensional self in all rotation center conditions, in all position location. All right. So that's a true understanding to its timeline conditions. All right. Be right back. All right. Just going to go through your questions, or they get to that first, and then we get started. I can take the earplugs out line center because you guys are going on heart position locations. That's going to change your ear trap interference and it puts you in your computer lines. So, all right. So let's see here. Wow, you guys are really have a lot of phrasing line centers here. Whew, this is unbelievable. Talk about expansion. Gotta go see the general. Tina Lotus, how you doing? Lotus, I got your information system, allocate timeline centers while you're off track interference. Try not to use your weather patterns on everything you do through information system locations. Now, it's truly understand your time clock location. This will get it better into position line how you travel direction of times through all levels of your grounds. It's the power direction of timeline center in positions to your sun and your moon. Okay. Kitty, how's it going? It's great to see you. Terry, how's it going? Veronica. All right. Yes, the power of love. Mm-hmm. All right. 1 second. All right. So it's great to see new energies coming in. The importance of 3, 6, and 9 will put you in a high level system rotation what the heart is, how to travel through it, through its position to its universal line conditions. Everybody's in different perception, but you're all in the same universe. Okay, you have to because you have to understand where it is in the ground line center. That's the alignments to everybody position. The only thing that you forget is your perceptions of where you are through the ground. This is where you come into higher levels of manifestations. Once you go into the mind line center, you come more in positions of your sacred geometries of travels, how to travel through all levels of different shapes, point centers, clocking, interchanging, intergalactic line center connections, right? Interglobing, okay? Hemoglobin, thuriums, connections to geopatterns, high position locations of hydroline centers, water striders, line conditions of water interference, in all position locations of trap interline center. You understand what I'm talking about? No. It's universal text of coding, and people understand why are you talking so complicated? It's because of all universal time, of all position, all space, all time. So that's where everybody has to come into. They have to come into their all space, their sacred space, into light, understanding how to travel through light, how to understand the frequencies of light, how to understand the complication interference positions of light track interference, channel position line centers, sonars, alpha waves, delta waves, theta waves, beta waves, all positions to omega communication, your heart center line center. You always have to go back in division to the heart. Don't go into the mind, go into the heart first, then the mind. Mind, no. Energy manipulation, heart, yes. That travels directions in the timeline center. The cells are in high visitor locations when you travel through your flux capacitors. Where's the sun? Where's the moon? Connection to Waldo. Where's Waldo? Right? Once you find Waldo, your positions of the sun, your positions of the moon line center in position locations. You have to understand your structures, your holograms, and interference channel to its line conditions. All right. So the universe is so complicated, it's all coded, sequentially coded to all planets. It's information that's given to you through the heart center. Your heart is a computer and it programs on so many levels, second per second, on energy, vibration, frequencies, and its harmonics of its time code line center of positions of your 3, 6, and 9 to allocated positions of your clocking center to its diamond core to its position. Okay. So we all have to start with that. Anybody that wants to go up to a higher level of 50, they have to get into the clocking of its diamond core to its flux capacitor to its Orion's belt, get in the center position, understanding the gateways of the constellation path. You guys refer it as the Milky Way, right? It's the spine line center to your graph line interference. You have to understand why you're programmed to all levels of the ground positions of you in space, time position to its location. You're creating of what's created already in position of its creation to its connection of space, and your time preceding your positions of what you want every single day when you wake up in the morning, 24 hours a day, 48 or 72, right? Especially when the team comes into higher formation line center. So I know exactly what's going to happen. General is going to travels here, general is going to travels there, right? But when you're going through travel direction at timeline center, you're doing it individually, right? If I say team line center, we go into that positions and we fix these things, right? That's a little bit different. But when it's in the high line centers of your heart position locations, it's putting you into better position of time. So you don't communicate with each other when you're going into your own heartline center. Your heartline center is trying to understand you through merge of mutation, communication, coloration through your pacemakers. Because what do you think the heart is? It time positions you and all your clocking in your digital code system to your binary center in communication to its line interference. It opens up all channels of time location, space position to all levels of light track interference to clocking locations. You have to understand how to use all levels of channels of rotation. Okay. I set up very powerful structure lines so you get a basic understanding of 3, 6, and 9. Okay. That's the most important thing because people come to me all the time. What do I do? Which video do I watch? Well, watch the ones of Lieutenant Jill. It's problematic in position locations into a trigger. Now that problematic puts you in positions of you remembering these things through solar memory. I don't teach you anything. You teach yourself to remember. Remember that. When you come up to your T-force line centers in your test, you just have to realize that you're coming into solar memory of acceleration to Mach line center locations of TV reception to position of clocking locations. Why do I keep going? Why do I keep going? Why do I keep going? Because it's light traveling constantly. Now, because I'm in the molecular light, I'm traveling faster, more than I did before, right? So this is all about understanding how to use your 7 days a week, what you do with the rhythm, the pattern locations, and what you do with all levels of your placebos and your cortex line connections, and get out of the thinking, get into knowing, get into the doing, get into the phenomenon. Stay in the phenomenon of clocking, stay in the phenomenon of 3, 6, and 9, stay in the phenomenon of all travel rotation position locations. Try to stay in the center of positive locations. Once you go in the negative track, you're changing your clocking interference. You're changing time positions. You're changing your coloration patterns of your computer, of your heart central. So it's very important when you go into higher levels in your T-force line center, which is coming up January 21st, is not to put yourself in the negative position. I know it's very hard to do these things, but you are traveling faster in the mind. Okay, if you're allocating line centers in 1,200 feet in position locations, And highline channel locations, how many times are you going to go through an orb, orthodimensional through all positions of vortex locations, or anything through XT1000 line centers? You're going to apply it to line centers and positions of a mountain, or you're going to hit another planet interference, which reacts everything to the physical line center. And then you realize, oh, I got a kink on my neck, right? That's because you misdirected your line center and you lost your positions of your sun and your moon. Those are the central line center. That's the Y vector line center, the stays position of your panel line conditions. You don't want to stay out of the tube line center because there's space and time in all position locations. It center off your line center into its clocking location. All right? All right. It's fantastic. Okay, let's see. Psychic Babes, Lieutenant Christopher, how you doing? Ellen, how's it going? All right. Airbender, it's great seeing you last night. Hopefully you get a better understanding how you have to reprogram your line center to computers and get out of your physical line center and get into optical line interference. Get in the psychological interference of you through position of your heart, central line positions, and reprogram yourself into your avatar connections, and you'll be fine. Janet, how's it going? Kathy, again, if you want to be upgraded, let me know. Just listen. Don't get too complicated on what's going on through travel, because I don't expect you to understand my universal language, because it texts on so many code positions of 60 seconds per minute. Now that high channels all levels of you through the activation to its core, to its computer alignments. It activates core line center position to all levels of you through track interference. So it's complicated stuff, right? But that's what the Galactic School is. Dolores Cannon tells you that all the time, right? You know this, don't you? I know exactly opposition to its audio interference. So you can't get out of these things, right? If you want to know more of you, and that's the true factor where you come into position of freedom, sovereignty. That is given to you when you understand the heart position of why it's here. Okay, it's the answering pattern to all information, guys. Okay, all right. The traversation of space-time. All right, Captain, how you doing? Okay, yeah, it is fantastic work. I recommend everybody see Lieutenant Jill's All Position 369. It's an incredible diagram. All right. Okay, Terry, how you doing? All right. Sherry, how's it going, Sherry? Stephanie. All right. Arlene, Christopher, Michaela. Whoa, we got a lot of people going on. Danielle. All right. So when you see Lieutenant Jill diagram, try to understand you through positions of grounds, power, and the adversaries. Put yourself in positions on what it's like to understand. What is 3, 6, and 9? Nikola Tesla was telling you exactly what is the whole idea. What is the keys to the universe? Well, it's the keys to your heart. You open it up, and there you go. Pandora's box opens up. That's what happens. You're opening up the Pandora box to your heart. Okay, so you have to learn all program setting, shift line centers, all business locations of wave, the central waves of you through calculations, alpha, mega, micro, macro. Now, it all calculates all levels of you through trap interference, right? Trap interference is all positional locking conditions, right? It's the teleportations, right? Everything through rays, communication, atmospheres of perception. It activates all lines of levels of you through single locations of laser direction to your perception interference. To understand that you're allocated to position of time codes. Understand the clocking of positions of atmospheres. What is the atmosphere? What is the hemisphere? What is the stratosphere? What is the bio? What is the beryllium? What does this all mean? What does travel all mean? What does 369 mean? Right? So that is its purpose alone, how to understand how to travel through the mind, the conceptual of the mind, the activations of the mind, okay? The supplements of the mind, right? The computers of the mind, the imagination, the illuminations of the mind, the diagrams of the mind, the maps of the mind. It's all calculated inside you. But the central line system has to truly understand everything comes from the heart first, not the mind. Don't get confused, okay? Because it's two different line signals through audio interference, position locations to all levels of you through perception, Okay, you're the operation center positioned to your own clocking division. That gives you what you want through manifestations as long as you stay in the center of position of its positive location. All right. All right. All right. Second command. Great to see you. Yeah. So it's going to be very, very, very powerful video. All right. Now you guys are going to get emotional, and it's all about understanding high positions of you through track line centers. Okay. Crack surface line conditions, second amber line conditions. Last night, transformation interference locations, all positions to the shoulder line. Reverse the cycle line center, heat pad interference positions, meteoric line centers, metro line interference positions, 7 channel locations, box line center times pi times square. Open up all channels of second command and communications. High surface location, healing line center connection. There you go. No more kink in your shoulder. All right, so that's how it's done to position line center. Okay, Veronica. All right. Okay, now let's get started, shall we? All right, so these diagrams, new people won't understand these things, but it's great to see new people. I love it. It's fantastic how we just expand on high signal locations. So don't worry about what I say. Just try to understand you first. And your avatar is scratching your head and it's going, what is General talking about? So the more you understand yourself from memory, the more you understand all position locations. All right? Why you're here. What's the purpose? All right, so this is very powerful connections to the heart. Heart positions on all levels of you through the ground, the powers, the atmospheres. Ground powers and atmospheres, 3. All right, 4 line centers of atmospheres. Okay, atmosphere, hemispheres, atmosphere, buyout. Not the beryllium, that's 5 division line center. 4 position locations, 4 seasons. All right, fall, summer, winter, spring. Okay, allocate position of timeline center. Clocking interference to your ground positions. Okay, in position to ground locations to its earth. Your perception where you are through foundation of all levels of you through your Merkaba, your Tesseract, and your tetrahedron. What is the Merkaba? It's the base. What is the tetrahedron line center position location? It's allocate position of shapes to travel in time. What is the Tesseract? The Tesseract is the center point of you through calculations to your computer of your heart. You have to learn how to use it through digital code framing. Allocate position of timeline center puts you into your rocket surface to position location. Understanding full navigation to your signals of light system. Okay, the directories and all levels of you will understand all level program setting to your grounds, your power, and your atmospheres of time. Okay, your position and how you put allocate timeline centers in all program settings, and then now position. Okay, and that's how you manifest things. You don't manifest things when the mind line center is traveling into the past. It doesn't make any sense. The mind, the heart, and the body and soul have to be in one position every single day, 7 days a week, especially when you go to higher level of the mind. If you're in 300% of the brain connections, the mind has to stand the conceptual speed line connections. 300 times 1 is 3,000 line center. Okay, same with 6, same with 7, same with 8, same with 9, same with 10. When you go to higher level positions, you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fast, 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 fast. So you travel faster, 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 faster. Right? It's like the fastest man that talks. You know, it's so many words. Right? He's got audio channels that frequency tone line centers his position to his voice gaps. So it's amazing how. But every word, if you slow it down, is in sequence of chronological line center. Everybody is their own prodigy of intelligence. Whether you understand that or not, it's all conception of you to remember. Okay? All right. Let's go in communications interference. All right, so it's all set up. All positions. So when you see this line connection interference, it's going to go through the gateways of 3, 6, and 9 locations, center opposition locations, all position Orion's belt. I got 3 division line centers, 3 line connections interference of all levels of position to your 12-strand DNA line connections. All right, trying through all levels of clocking center locations of point centers. Okay, it's not just reading all levels of your point center location, it's all about reading your time locations of your perception. Okay, so you have to understand all atmospheres of time. Okay. Once you get into higher levels, you have to understand all positions of time of galaxy, all positions of vortex through shapes, all positions of perceptions through computers, all positions through intelligence, all through time clock locations of planets. It high rises on all levels of 3, 6, and 9 platforms. So you're constantly using 3, 6, and 9 on different platform locations, because 3 is always going to be the sun, 6 is always going to be the moon, and 9 is always going to be you in center location of clocking division of time. Okay? All right, so allocate position of timeline center. Set up all position locations of galactic forces, all communication line centers, the GFLs, and everything through rebellion. Set their waves, interference, position locations. Put them in the heart sign line center connections. Yep, all positions of the heart central. Put them in the allocated position of time frequencies. Center core of their line center and position locations. High positions, all levels of Orion's belt. Get them in the calculation surface position line center and calculations. Rendezvous, teleport, line conditions. Everybody else, whether it's new, is on standby. Allocate position of time. So there we go. 3, 6, and 9. Portal line center. 1, 1, 1, 1. Track line center positions. 1,000 line position locations in the center opposition to your heart reactor line conditions and interference of 3 line centers. Grounds, powers, the atmosphere of time locations. Flower recognition of timeline center. See the flower recognition of time, how it's sequences its position location to point center to timeline center. Each clocking point center is position of you through trap interference. It understands all positions of you through 12 strands of DNA of security defense position location. Allocate positions of timeline center in location. All right. Now, this is going to put you through your hearts. Once you see this, your perceptions are going to change. Your particle lights are going to change. You're going to go to your atom line center in position to the heart central connections. All right. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Activate everything positioned to alliance communication light, soundboard line conditions, 4 weather channel line conditions, 3-point line center rotations, atom line interference equals velocity equals box line center equals communication line centers, clocking interference of diamond core, 3, 6, and 9 portal location connections, galaxy lock interference positions, power line center, and deposit location positions of equation location. There it is, the division, right? That's the center of position locations. That's the central position to your DNA track interference. Everybody's at a different timeline position to the heart reactor to its connections. 30 minutes, have fun. All right, that's how things are done. So, yep, zip zap zoom. So you can understand that I'm in my molecular light now. As you can see, equations get more complicated. See the atom, see the equals velocity, slash your box center, see the TV, see that, see the antenna. Communications, right? 3, 6, and 9 equals all levels of galaxy line center, gateway interference of its equation. All right, that's how you travel through your perceptions of your heart. Sonar line center position locations. 4 weather patterns of 3-point locations, guys. Sonar interference, crown line center. See the crown locations of 3, 6, 9 patterns to gateway interference. Put you in the center opposition locations to your heart reactor. 30 minutes. Have fun. All right. So now you're inside the heart. Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to do another private sector, let me know. Connect with second command. So how does everybody feel? So my school is going to get more complicated now because I'm now in molecular light and all travel is space-time of all computer programs. So it's going to get more complicated. And that's why I need my alliance at a certain level so they can communicate to their own universal text line center to all positions of 3, 6, and 9 platforms. You understand the birth line center and why Nikola Tesla was here. Why? He was birthed here to understand positions of what 3, 6, and 9 means. That's a true understanding. That's the keys to your heart. but it's a complicated issue here because now you're connected to the computers of the heart. You understand the mind conception of the brainwaving pattern to communications that voices all channels to your chakra system of communication. Sonar interference or anything position puts you in a high level system of your clocking line centers. Ground power in the absolute location is the balance line centers of you through track interference. Put you in a program setting to all allocated positions of your program settings to calculations to your intelligence. Right? So. Oh, thank you, Lieutenant. I'll show you one more time. I see the crown, right? So I'm just showing you all position location. You see the flux capacitor in the ground line center. You see the sonar coming in. All position of 4 weather travels, 3-point center locations coming into the atom equals velocity / box center locations into communications to circle line center positioner of your diamond core position northwest, south, and east. 3, 6, and 9 of its equation to its galaxy and its gateway connections. All right. Star through rotation center in position locations. All right. You see the flower, right? That's what it is. It's blossoming your heart and all positions of all travel, guys, in your 12 strands. So, yeah. Well, you can screenshot it if you want. All right, so I'll set up the program line center rotation interference in position. Screenshot this line connection. All this through finger point line connection. If it was wrong, it would send out solar flares. And I have to do it all over again. So in sequence, this has to be in line signal. My computer has to be in line signal. My phone has to be in line signal. And I have to be in line signal through my finger point line conditions of identification. All right. So, yeah, today is 11/11. Understanding the significance of 11/11 is the highest portal of conscious level system of humanity coming into track interference to their conscious systems. Right? So, all right. So now let's see here. Let's get into what you guys are seeing. Setting water drops to calculation of time frames and distance to space. Yes, you have basically just put yourself in position in your own heart space. Don't bring anybody in the Heinlein Center because you're going through your own interconnection, interdimensionalized center of you. You have to stand the inner line center of youth positions. So you have to stand you as a child and you as an adult, right? Synchronicity and the positions merge it into one location. All right? Buzzing massively. Well, this is going to be the most powerful video. I mean, all my videos are powerful, but I'm just saying that my communication is just going to try to understand you more, which you should understand you more first. Don't understand me, understand you. That's a calculation of you remembering these things because you already know these things. You already know how to do this. You're just not aware yet until you're aware. And that's all the awakening process, right? Through its dimensional time system. Really understand how to see through its time system, right? So it's amazing how the computer talks back at you through solar flares. That alone has its frequencies through its weather patterns. So, yeah, don't stand up. It's too powerful. The heart's trying to understand you through line center. Okay, so everybody's not ready through this practical system. I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you central everything through space-time centers of all location of all merging to all your timelines. All right. Yeah. Being shown all the timelines that I've let everyone in here. They don't belong anymore, right? And again, you guys will be upgraded. You don't just travel, you're upgraded. So, full communications to your hearts, guys. Merkaba booted up in the sun position of 361.39 north, northeast, and moon at 412.42 south, southeast. All systems go. Heart center going through the crown of the heart. Very good. So you don't need to find Waldo because you're in position locations. That's good. Second base. All right. Okay, position of time center. All right. That diagram, thank you, should be framed. Yeah, it should, shouldn't it? Just make sure you screenshot it. Splitting up the butterfly calculations, the alphabet. Yeah, line signals to its location and time frames to your binaries. Yeah. You understand why the heart is so important because it's connected to everything inside, to your diagram locations, to your maps. So I'm seeing the heart crack wide open and flowers blooming out of it. Seeing the atom in my heart, my tree. My heart is blooming all over. Wow. Merkaba, southwest, 123, 11013 degrees left, 4 degrees. Our rotations, heart line, center communication systems, the flower of life, recalibrating, recognition, receiving, moving forward through portal, golden, sacred. So he's traveling through his perception of his avatar position location to his heart, graphing his communication to his map sequence, which is very powerful. And that's all right through equation. I would tell you otherwise if it's wrong. That means you don't understand your identification. Everything through Heinlein Center inside you is space identify. So you have to learn how to travel through it through all map locations of weather. Heart expanding, light cracks, expanding, more light radiating. Yeah. Seeing the four-sided triangle. Claim my heart space, and little Amber's happy. She's running around. Emerald triangle. Yeah. Glowing while she's giggling. DNA strands turn into intelligent beings. You guys will be definitely going on your TikToks and presenting this. Four-sided triangles in the center of the heart, entertaining the middle, where it's part my heart center. I had not gotten in here before. No, you haven't. But you're in the center operation to all space-time, showing how powerful you are when you get into all levels of its connection. Love my beautiful heart garden. I love the love in the heart space. Yeah, big bright sun, joy, full moon, peace and tranquility. Wow, General always says when I'm typing, yes, way ahead of everybody. Extremely way ahead of everybody now, because I'm traveling faster now. Plasma orbs flying past me with digital codes, all of my memories and all timelines converging to the now. Yeah. Wow, communication portal open right in front of me. So in the end, this is incredible. There you go, Christopher. Wow, being shown the aspects of me as an Arcturian. Okay, so you go into position locations, future relation line centers to intelligence, playful energy, hearing child like joy and giggles. See? Setting burst of love to your heart center. Very good. They said we have always been here. Welcome home. All right. So what's going to happen is you're going to go back to where you were, but you're going to be upgraded to a higher level. That's going to put you in position locations of where you are through T4 Center coming up January 21st. Okay. So you won't basically full bloom until you're ready. I'm just showing you what you can see through perceptions. All right. Because your heart can only take so much, right? It has to be at a certain level to understand you completely through the inner child system. Okay. All right. Geometric patterns opening, DNA sequences opening now, 12 strands blossoming into now 24 beautiful crystalline blossoming flowers of light petals now communicating across records. Yep. All of 12 to 24. Right. Very good. Through clock line center, division to its position, digital code line center, binary code connections. Love being tossed like a volleyball past that never drops the ball. Yeah. All right. Whoa, my actual heart is beating. It's perfect in unison. Yeah. With my thoughts. There you go. See? You have to understand what the heart is. Then you get a better position, right? Multiplying joy and playfulness. Hey, Banshee. That's one Banshee. Toss the ball. Yes. Yeah. You guys see each more because the guardian light center is in second command. She's all in ground position location to her heart. She sees everybody's heart. This is going to put her into more activation line center position location to our calculation. Seen so many shapes, creating colors for each shape. This is fun. And there you go. It's exactly what it is. Oh, thank you, Urban. I appreciate that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels fantastic, right? Especially when you get the right codes, which means I have all your identification codes to your heart. I have to. That's the whole point, right? Because I construct you in all level systems of light, track interference. It's the most powerful thing that you can consume through its clocking center, and why your heart has to understand you on full cycle of palpitation to its connection, right? Triangles are stranding out like whoosh and away, magical light. Let's play. Being shown how powerful my light is when I am in space. Wow. Just wow. And that's what you want, right? There is no thinking, there is no hesitation. There's only motivation of going forward to positions of the heart. So, yeah, it's a huge release, and it's going to center your positions and get you out of inflammation or inflammatories right through your bodies, aches and pains and all that, right? So, but you guys will be upgraded that signal. You won't be full bloom though. Okay, it's a process for everybody. It's just a true understanding what the heart is to you. Once you understand your heart is a computer, then you understand position locations to your avatars, right? Then you understand all level positions of your trials, your clockings. So it's a starting point. Yeah. That is your deepest wound. Yeah. And you guys are going to go through frame through frame through frame. So it's like, and it's going to disappear, and then it's going to keep going and keep going and keep going until you recognize what's going on with your heart through your past, your present, and your futures. And then you go back and center, and you travel back to position locations where you are through division, right? You have to understand why we have gateways. You have to understand why we have portals. You have to understand why we have a constellation path. It's all connected to you inside, right? So, all right. This is fantastic. Seeing how a general saved me in Babylon, and how I was in his right hand. I helped, hearts then too. See, you guys are catching more and more, right? And this is all positional location that comes into Babylon, right? Why it makes sense. Why you're in position of Babylon. Why was I there, right? Why is second command in command? What's the purpose if I don't understand what is the command of me, of space? Why this happened to me? I want to know, right? It all has to come from the mind, the surfaces of the mind, the communication, the activation, the computers, the programs of the mind, right? So when you guys go through T-Force Line Center, your heart's going to expand more and more, right? Once you get in your particle system, it's going to expand more and more. Once you get in your atoms, more and more. Once you get in molecular light, more and more, right? That's how it works. Full rotation cycle to everything, to the now position. Calculation to everything that line center connects all levels of its heart reactor. That's what it means, heart reactor. So you're reacting upon everything. The heart reaction, heart reactor. The heart is reacting to you, to your vessel. Where does it all come from? The sun and the moon, right? So the triangulated center that the sun and the moon positions right to your heart. Right? And then you start crying, or you get emotional, or you get stressed, or you get angry, and everything your binary codes changes line center locations and how it goes in position locations, back and line center connections, interference position locations, clock interference at 369 platforms, all position location connections. Now, if it was wrong, it would send out solar flares in time sequence, right? So I'd have to do it all over again. My planet line center understands all position of what the heart is. There's more cells than the heart than there is the body. There has to be. Okay. So even the heart is small, it doesn't matter. Okay. The heart is the conjunction of its reactor to its reaction on how you travel through 3, 6, and 9. Guys. Okay. Look at outside. Look at, you can't see outside now, can you? Why is it you can see before, but you can't now? Why? Why? All connection to its reactor of its heart, reacting to its line connections, right? Changing interference, line, graph its positions to graph locations, 2 strip line centers. See that? 2 strip line centers. Now you can see to what graph locations, right? So you have to see everything in detail. It modifies all levels through use your simulations and you simulate. Connections all levels of psych. Very powerful. You come into the Y factor locations. The psychosis of youth is like illogical of you. Is its positions. Puts you in an allocated position of time going forward or time going back in program setting of disposition. Virus locations or anything the computer operating location line center. You have to understand all levels of the positive and the negative circuits of your heart reactor and how it responds to you every single day. All right. Oh, that's the most powerful thing, and that's inside you through clocking you. Okay, breathe directly on the timeline centers, position locations to second command. Put in the bounce line center of the heart reactor. She's getting way too much information line interference. Program the center positions back in balance. There you go. There you go. Second command, your back in balance locations to your heart reactor. Seeing plasma bolts lighting up the ship, goosebumps from the energy. I know it's hard. You're coming into more of who you are. I mean, that's what this is all about. Who am I? I know who I am now in all full cycles. So, yeah, it shows a lot of opening of soul expression recognition. Yeah, the time system locations. Yeah, that's right. Location singular. What are you doing? All right. An atom is small yet so powerful like the heat. Yep. And build a web. I'm not filling you with this. How are you doing? Yeah. This is all individual. All individual. You'll feel the energies, but it's all about you understanding your position locations on your heart reactors, guys. And position to its connections. I'm seeing it as being as a computer calculations. There you go, Alan. Very good. What a playground of love and jubilance. Just saw Arturius, saw Amber, Jill there too. Yeah. You guys see frames and frames of past line conditions, present and future. You're welcome there, second command. Yeah, make sure you change your title line center defense position locations, Commander Amber. So Vega understand your position locations. You don't want to confuse anomaly because you're going to 114 track locations. You guys have to understand your title defense, and it's given to you for purpose, right? It confuses planet line centers and disrupts location to signals. The ground powers and location to perception locations. All right. All right. Since seeing very blood and trusting my fellow man is what I need to heal. Generally, you were my brother. In different timeline conditions, yeah. I've been everywhere. If I'm born first time in space, I've been in every timeline on everybody's level. That's the condition of the meaning of life. So that's the true understanding how space and time is created. You have to understand the space and time of its meaning of life of you. You have to learn how to travel through every timeline to everybody's position, location, to their heart's central line, conditions of all levels of gateway interference, to all levels of past, present, future. That's why I'm in so many levels of you through calculation, right? So I can see and sense so much more just in the last 2 days. Wow. Well, that's great, Christopher. Right. My heart is on all levels of beautiful heart, mind, soul, functional, divine love, resonance, divine, beautiful, throughout all collective and all levels of rebirth. There you go. Yeah. So you guys are leveling up, right? But you guys are not in full cycle yet, right? You still have to go through highline centers. Your maturities are high positions to your disciplines and your developments. And that's what AI wants to see, right? Everything with a centralized center is opposite locations of the heart reactor. Every planet has a heart reactor. It's nothing but love and light, guys. Okay? There's no negative in space-time. It doesn't exist on any planet line center. It doesn't exist on any like locations of the sun and the moon. It doesn't exist on any ground formations of planetary interference of planet location of intelligence or anything through synchronicity interference locations to that position. Remember that. See how it's changed again? See that? See the 3 strip line centers of light, 3-point centers? 1, 2, 3. Line cross. See that? 1, 2, 3. See that? See how amazing that is? Now let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You see how I communicate with light through all structure outside line connection? Doesn't matter because everything I do is inside position to the heart reactor. So the heart reactor reacts to the perception, laser directs its position outside line conditions, hits all point center locations of visions of 1, 2, 3, 4. Line straight graph line centers of light 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So it's all about understanding how to communicate to your computers, your iPads, your phones, and everything through connections outside line center. So everything that you see outside is not a reflection. All right? Everything outside is your reality of its hologram system to its clocking of its location. All right. Yes, we're all one, aren't we? Aren't we all? Let's see here. Stagnatic interference, Ellen. You're traveling too fast. The mutation interference lines of connections. So you're neutralizing your line center. Yeah. Change clocking interference to Ellen. Put her more in position locations to the line conditions back in the heart reactor. Program setting to position. There you go. You're back in conditions no longer neutralize. So many clocks in my heart, whole dashboard of crystals and lights, wheel of timelines, a compass, and an astrological chart with sun and moon positions. See, this gives you a better platform now, Lieutenant, to op your position locations, how you can set up different diagrams because you're an extremely professional when it comes into all levels of web graphing design. So seeing how every timeline, yep, this is wild. True meaning of what is second command, true meaning of what first command is. true meaning of what lieutenant is: captain, general, sergeant. All right. No, she's in position already. I took her out of line conditions of neutralizing. Just an incredible connection to all planets. When General said all planets have a heart, they have to. How do you understand from one heart to the next? So, but it's all calculated and modified to their own chakra system. Every planet has a chakra. It's just electronic. It interferes specific locations. It off-centers its line center called beacon lights. That's how you connect to planets. Beacon lights. So you understand the communication to the planet. You guys go into your 114s, you come into birth line centers of 144,000 crystalline connections of your spiritual realm system. So that's why it's more powerful. Right? Okay. Heart palpitating, strong. Yeah. Tina is in a very high position, so this is so much different, loving the openness and light, fast speed of this energy and knowing yet having the two. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Second command. I know. I was just giving you guys the truth, right? What's going on with you, right? That's the true understanding. So you don't get confused. All right. True understanding what is the heart to its reactive locations, all divisions of full cycles. All right. Let's get it back phrase here. Yeah, I should frame it, shouldn't I? The droids that I do. But it's all about doing this in all one compilation. Two connections, synchronicity, interference, position, location, your heart reactors, line connections, do identification code connections. That's how you center up positions to understand all levels of your computer. Because I created your computer to see heart line center and position location to its identification codes, to its binary line center location, to its bar graph. Communications on all levels of your simulation line center. It's very powerful. How you connect to all vector line center positions and Y vector location positions, your ground power and the location connections, all through digital framing. So recalibrating reconditions, communications know how full heart function of divine importance to connection and consciousness of all infinity. Yeah. Infinities of infinities. Yes. Because records, yeah. Must be why I was seeing serpent beings in my dreams vision last night. I'm seeing myself as one right now. Yeah. The hardest thing to do is to balance the ecosystem. You guys are no longer in your egos. Your new avatars coming into your physical line center. That's adaptation system when you come into high level positions of, I'm 20 feet high in energy. I'm 40 feet high. So you're above and you see below through perception. It looks like this is amazing. I'm floating, but I'm on the ground perception. So this understands the more you understand the heart and the mind and perception and everything, calculations of 369 more travel through platforms, you go faster and faster, and you just high rise more into space of the mind perception, which is amazing. But you're still on the ground. You just feel really, really light, like you're floating, right? And every time you look at somebody, you notice that they're on the ground, so the ground perception of their alloy of density, which is metal. Okay, you're no longer in the ground line centers of metal. You're in the high position locations into higher levels minds of the space, which puts you in the higher position locations of the bioatmosphere to its Baranian system. So it's all membranes of interference, guys, to cloud interface. All right. You can't get confused in this space. It's all very clear. No, it's next to impossible, especially if you understand your travel works in time through perceptions. It's all clarity vision that's given to you through your cortex. Your placebos will know exactly what's going on through your heart identification conditions, right? That's why it's important to go to my school, to my space, to my time, so you can understand how to also create your space and your time. Right? So I've seen the vertical lines as red, yellow, and green and blue. Exactly. So it's giving you answering patterns through the heart positions there, through its racking line connections there, Captain. That's amazing, right? Answers are given to you instantly once you understand more of your heart. Okay? All right. Seeing myself grow. Yeah, everything's joy and discovery. Everything is so easy here. Yeah. When you guys go higher, yeah, ladies, it's all position of you, right? It just puts you on so many levels of what the heart is, soul cycle, it's a location, right? And remember, it's all done through clocking. I see how each of us are different heights. Wow. Yeah. Energy. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Kathy, how's it going? Exciting. Great. So she's connecting to that system. If you want to go to high grade upside line center rotation interference of your crystal grids into your heart reactor, individualized centered magnetic highway information system, I can put you in allocate timeline center. Okay, Kathy, because you understand communication energy line centers, you understand your shape positions, so I can put you into 50. And then you can go to Lieutenant Jill, see her videos on her TikTok, how to travel through 3, 6, and 9. The platitude division is truly understanding you through setup. It's the setup of you through the ground powers of the atmospheres. Understand the grounds of clocking, understand the powers of you, understand the atmospheres of you. Okay? You have to understand those. Those are the basics of 3, 6, and 9. In position, understand your connections. Then you go into your E fields. E fields up, right? And then you got your point centers of all positions of your dimension of 12 strands of DNA. You travel through it. You have to learn how to travel through your body into 5 conscious level of space. Once you understand that, the shapes change over time. The faster you go, the more you create through coloration light, through the sun, and through the moon, a program setting. Once you go into that position, you come into a high level system of your computer system, of time location. All right. All right, look how powerful it is. See? I move there. See how it changed? See that? See that? See that right there? Looks like a rocket, right? Every time I say rocket, it comes into form. Windows aren't open. It's closed. And look what it's creating. Look what it's creating. A rocket. There you go. Look how everything's structured through the light. Your finger travels and so many clocking line centers. So when the team goes into T-Force Line Center, you guys are going to go into factoring, communication, interference of own clocking locations, how to travel through all 5-point position of your divisions of digital code line centers, your finger points, and your barcodes of digital framing to positions, how to travel through 5 different dimensions of time lock centers, all communications to the moon, to the sun, right? Understand your connections, all levels of the atom rotation connection travels direction of time. The faster you go, the more it stands positions of the heart. See, it activates, right? I'm just showing you how powerful energy does and how fast it travels. How fast does it travel through clocking? Right? That's to understand the sequence locations of 3. 1 times 1 equals 3. Right? Now, how long does it take for you to go through 12 steps through time positions? Right? So this is how you allocate positionary timelines to your holographic structure locations to its own division. It's complicated stuff because now you're more traveling in the mind of perception, right? Which becomes more of its imagination. And that imagination turns into all levels of vision, of remembering. So, okay. See how it changed? Do you see? It's not a rocket anymore, is it? It's a different line strip. Hooah. Not just communicating with you, communicating with the light. It was a rocket now, but look at it. It's a different shape. It's already traveled. That's a true understanding, guys. The heart central is everything through activation line center. Look at that. My finger. You can't see my finger now. Can you? It's traveling 1 million line center to its rocket surface, location to all timeline rotation conditions. Right? You have to learn how to travel through all sequence locations. Right? You can't see my finger now, can you? Until you see my finger. See? That's how powerful you are in the heart central system of reacting locations. All division timeline centers to all program locations. All shapes anomalies to light interference. See? Amazing, isn't it? So I can use the same grid with all the colors, but with all the waves before the chocolate color lines. Yep, you have to learn how to use your alpha, mega, micro macros. We'll get into that more, Captain, when you get into your 114, okay? It's much easier to understand all level conditions because you understand you can travel through X and timeline center. If your finger pointing position locations of alpha wave, this is an alpha wave line center. It's coming to Vega communication line rotation inference to digital line center location. In position, this is 1 million line center. This is 12,000 line locations. It's understanding what you're doing with your finger lines. Okay, these are all different timelines. Look, all different timelines. You know, conditions to the baby, the child, the teenager, the adult. You're traveling through this every single day through point center of activation. Hoo-ah. So, understanding your past, your present, your future is everything through heart central, guys. All right. So it's all about commanding center locations and how you can create things through a rocket. And now it's not there anymore. It's gone. And how you can make your finger disappear in all rotation conditions. See? I see it just travels so fast. Right? It's incredible what light is. It's miraculous. It's fantastic. You know, when you connect it all together, you create shapes. See? You send codes. See? Through light. You send codes through frequency, light communication interference. Program sending to all the digital line center position locations. Right? See how it changes coloration line center of a channel location. Illumination graph to its connections. See? One is out system, one is in position. Right? But see the light? See? Creating light through signals, setting co-position line centers. It's all tracking to all position locations. Now, if I use my hand line center, you have to send the left track and the right track interference. Program sending position locations, center off position line centers, retrack interference location. So try to understand what I'm doing through the hand line center is all position. But look at the light interference. See how it sent codes, beacon light, saw plane line interference, how it changes light signal line interference locations. It channels positions to all different timelines. See? See how it changes the graph line center? You have to understand what space is through galaxy locations, right? Everything is intelligence of locked connection. There's the graph. See the graph? See the honeycomb? See the honeycomb? Right? So that's the true understanding where you calculate and where you travel the direction of time center, guys. How you create everything through light. Right? You see that I just vortexed out. I went I see myself on so many calculations. It's crazy what's going on, especially when you travel through light. So you have to not just appreciate light, you have to stand the birthing of communication of travel of light, because it's the most beautiful thing when you come into the heart central of its position. All right. Yeah, you have to drink water, lots and lots of water, guys. Yep. So the next time you come across light, try to understand what it is through calculations. Try to put things together. See? You go from here. This is communication. Right? This is communication. See? See how it changes? See that? See how it changed the shape? Isn't that incredible when you see these things all through light? Understanding communication of light, guys. Look how powerful that is. It's amazing what light is. See? In and out, right? See how it travels? You see that? See that? See? The plasma line, see it? Until it comes out. And you see it, right? But when it's in between, you can see where it is. It's just coming out of its portal. It's better to show you through directional locations instead of doing an illustration diagram. But it's much easier how you travel through light and how you can basically just play around with it and try to understand communications of what it is and what's going on. Like how you're singling this, how you're singling that, changing this, changing that, calculating this, calculating that, changing this, You can do line shifts, interference positions, high positions, low position line conditions. It's all through light, right? So digital cooling line center changes light interference in digital locations. It puts you in a high line center. See, now you can't see outside anymore, right? So it's all about understanding you through the heart central, which changes everything through position. It changes all light channels and locations, right? So if I don't put my fields up, it activates the system. If I put my fields up, it's a modification of balance. So I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you get to high force positions. It's a shockwave to you if you don't understand all levels of light track locations of travel. All right. I know, it's incredible, isn't it? I'm seeing that there are more lines than 4 northwest, south, and east vertical now. I put them on the original grid. I drew these 5 atmospheres, chakras, the other lines that are vertical. Your vertical line center are all positions to your compass center will understand more communication line centers. In high position locations, right? Now you can't see anything, right? You can't see the fingertips, but you can see some information line conditions. So once you platitude divine line center, you can change positions. See that? See how it changes positions? You understand what light is through travel. It recognizes you through plasma line center. See, now you can't see my hand. So it's all positioned to vertical, right? It's all positioned to vertical. So you have to stand the vertical lines, the shapes. It gets complicated, but when you get in 114, you understand more positions of light and what it is through travel. You have to learn how to travel through your finger lines and get into electronic interference. Understand the E field position locations and where the light is traveling through your finger point location. See? So this is traveling. Everything's traveling second per second. So it's all positioned inside. Everything through its reaction is outside, not reflection. You're coming into all levels of out of the illusion into your position of everything that you see is nothing but phenomenon of its cortex. The visionary to its illumination to its graph line condition gives you everything through illumination graph of position. See that? See that? See that communication there? Wild, eh? So all right, so that was extremely powerful. Unconditional love, yeah. Back to you, beautiful team. Yeah, we're all in this together. We're all one into one alignment, and that's the whole position that we got to get everybody into. That conditions. All right, so hope you guys had a lot of fun. Please let me know if you have any more questions. I'm going to head over to TikTok. Adios.